Good morning. So today I'm making a custom bed head, and I'm going to take you through the steps to make it easy for you. So firstly, things that we need. So we need wadding. So this is 20 mil. I would prefer 30 mil, but I couldn't get it the day I went to the shop. And so you need enough to cover the face of your base twice. You also need some fabric, and it really needs to be furnishing fabric, something with quite a bit of body. I'm going for something bold because it's for a specific room. You need cloth tape to hold everything in position before you staple it. Obviously you need some scissors. You need studs, which installing individual studs is a very time-consuming and tricky process. I find this is a much more efficient way to do studs. I've gone for pewter. You need a heavy-duty stapler. You also need a hammer with a rubber cover so that you don't damage your studs. And you also need a base, and because I'm doing a queen size, I've gone with an IKEA desktop. Now, if I was doing a king size, I'd use a hollow core door. Now, the reason that we go for something deep is it gives you nice square edges, and if you're going for a trim like studs, it gives you a very firm edge to nail into. Okay, so let's get into it. We need 2 layers of this wadding on the base. I've got the first layer on and I'm putting the second layer on. So in terms of the positioning, what you want is to wrap it over the sides and have about 4 centimetres wrapped over the back to staple down. Now, how we deal with the corners is important because you don't want too much bulk there, and I'll show you that in a minute. The main thing about this is you want this to be firm but not tight. So basically what I'll do is position it, and then we will flip it over. You need 2 people to flip it over, and then I will fix it down on the back with cloth tape first, and then I will actually staple it all down together. Okay. So once you've got all your wadding stapled down, both layers stapled down, remove the cloth tape and trim back the edge, turn the bed head over and just check that the face is evenly covered and the edges are neat. Then you want to lie your finished fabric down, face down on the table, and it's time to start applying that. Lie your fabric face down on the table, then lay the bed head face down on top of it. Now, it's important to keep the grain straight on the bed head. And the best way to do that is to line the top of the bed head up with the selvage. Now, the selvage is the edge, the finished edge of the fabric, so you know the grain is straight there. And allow extra fabric to cover the edges and to wrap over the back. So you generally need about 10 centimetres all the way around the bed head, and so trim the excess off so that it's easier to work with. It's important, if you're new to this, to not go for strong geometric designs, because it will be really hard to keep that design straight and true. So for your first attempt, either go for something plain or go for a random pattern that doesn't need matching. So once you've got that, the excess trimmed, you want to start folding over the edge to make sure that you've got it straight. But when you start stapling, staple the 2 short ends first. So staple the first end, and then go down to the other end and pull the fabric tight, well, firmly underneath, not too tight, but very firmly, and pull that over the other short end and staple that down too. So you can see here, I'm stapling over the first end, then the second end, And leave your corners till last because you need to take care with those to make sure that they're very neat. And I'll show you how to do those in a minute. But basically what you need to do is staple all around the bed head, leaving the corners till last. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to deal with the corners on the outer fabric, because we don't have the luxury of being able to cut it because we don't want raw edges on the face. So firstly, this is going to fold up. Firstly, what I want to do is pull this right down and staple it into position. Okay, so we want to try and get a really square edge. Then fold in the excess. Might cut that off. Okay. Then making the corner, we need to do 2 folds. One at the back corner, one at the front corner, and fold it in tight and staple it. Okay, so what we're going to do is just stand it up and see how it looks. Make sure there's no errors. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now to put the studs on. Okay, so we're up to putting the studs on. Now where you start is important. So you want to get similar distance in both ways, and you want to overlap your strips so that the first stud goes into the same hole going each direction. You also want to look at how it's going to end up on the other side and make sure that works, because you might have to fiddle around a bit to get it to work. Now, so I mentioned you need a hammer with a rubber end on it. So this is just from the IKEA kit. This is my trusty little tool kit. And so basically, I've just tacked the next one in just to hold it in position. Now I'm going to go to the middle. I think I'm better to go along actually. I won't punch them right in, I'll just get them partially in. No, it doesn't. Is that looking straight-ish? This is so much easier than trying to do individual tacks. That is an art that requires an artisan, which I am not. Yeah, it's looking pretty straight. Once you get your first few tacks in, then it's just a matter of working around the bed head, keeping that line of studs straight and true. Once you've got each piece of the studding positioned and temporarily tacked down, then you can go back and make sure that you've got a tack in every one of the available holes. And once you've got those all in, then you can then neaten the back, but just turn it over and check the face. Make sure you are happy with the outcome. And there you have your finished bed head.